British conquered the Spanish in 1655, they began to bring thousands of slaves to Jamaica from West Africa. From many tribes they came here. The Igbo, the Ashanti, the Uraba, Koromanti, Congo, Widowa, and the Mandingo warrior. Many of the former Spanish slaves had fled to the hills where they fought to preserve their freedom. They were called the Maroons, meaning the wild and fierce ones. Nobody can touch them there. As Miss Lou said, who is Jamaica's leading folklorist?
The Maroons, they are the people who boasted they were never slaves because they took to the hills. One of the Maroons is now one of our national heroes, Maroon Nanny. Nanny, she was one woman, she was Codger's sister, and she took her brothers to the hills too, and they tormented the British. They just tormented them the whole time until the British had to sign a peace treaty with them and all that. But which some people didn't like the idea of the Maroons signing the peace treaty because there were a lot of strings attached, you know, to this peace treaty. However, but during the time of that they lived in the hills, and they're still there. There are 4 Maroon towns, and you find that they have some of their old songs, the old Maroon songs, have definitely the African strains. Of course, with all the different people that have had influence on Jamaica, you know, you find that different things happen to the songs and all that. But one of this, they used to hold, and they still hold their own courts. And that, you know, for anything that happens here, they hold their own courts. And the song for calling the court, they have a thing called the abeng and the akete. The akete is a drum that you still hear sounds of the akete in the Rasta drumming, you know, the Peter.
Let's steady up. Rastaman.
In slavery days, the drum was banned higher, not only in Jamaica, but throughout the Caribbean and America. For a while, it went underground and was kept alive as a ritual among the free Maroons and Boer men in the mountains. Even after emancipation, it was denied popular acceptance and dubbed a heathen non-Christian practice. Today's Rasta music is a continuation of the African heritage of drumming. The Rastafarian influence has weaved its way up through the development and history of Jamaican music. In Jamaica, as the record will show, not a year passed between the 17th and the 19th centuries without a rebellion or even the threat of one. By the 19th century, the slave revolts and French Revolution undermined the whole system of slavery, and with the call for freedom, threatened the economic basis that slavery was founded on. Whatever spare time the slaves had was spent in the cultivation of their own small plots of land given to them by the planters to avoid the responsibility of feeding their slaves. Eventually, they were given Sundays off and were able to make money selling their produce at market. On Sundays and at festivals like Christmas, the slaves made their own entertainment. Bands of musicians beat banjos, tom-toms, blow cow horn, and scrape the bones of animals together. Now, under the influence of European music, long before emancipation, the slaves would dress up, dance, and imitate, thereby ridiculing the antics of the slave master. The quadrille, or first figure dancing, is an African mockery of European dances. For 150 years after the British took over Jamaica and established the slave trade, no attempt had been made to Christianize the slaves. The plantation owners had prevented Christian conversion. The Africans continued to serve African deities. In 1784, George Lyle, a black American Baptist from Georgia and a freed slave, founded a Baptist church in Jamaica, which he called the Ethiopia Baptist Church. He was accompanied by several other black preachers who brought a form of Methodism combined with African religion and music. The success of these preachers was thought to contribute to the rebellion just before the emancipation of the slaves in 1835. In 1861, the Great Revival swept the island. Thousands flocked to revival meetings of Afro-Christian sects. The leaders of these cults were known as shepherds and shepherdesses, the leaders of a band. The band is a group of believers who occupy a yard or religious center. Slavery song, Maroon song, Maroon Warrior. 400 years I and I survivors. Through this tribulation, the drum, the beat, the rhythm, the remaining scatterlights, ska, rock steady, reggae, sounds from the deep like soul music, rebel music, mental music, Jah music, the music of I and I. Good day.
Understand? So this music, reggae music, is tell the whole world, you know. Telepathically and physically and mentally and spiritually, we are telling them through this music, yeah. Where and I create down in the Western Hemisphere, yeah. Because it have to cover the whole four corner of the world. That man, woman and picnic must know themselves and know who is God.